Barry Lyndon is a film I've always loved. And I remember going to see the premiere of the film. It might have been my birthday, I can't remember, in Los Angeles at the Cinerama Dome. And coming of age in the 70s in America was, of course, a period where every other week there'd be such remarkable films coming out of American filmmaking, but also this film being a British film, and that Kubrick was a filmmaker whose films were events. And so everybody anticipated their releases. I didn't see 2001 probably till I was a little bit older, but it was and always will be one of the greatest experiences in cinema. Of course, Clockwork Orange, which followed it, was a shock to the system. And then Barry Lyndon came out. All three of these films shot by John Alcott, who is just, you kind of can't even believe what this one director of photography was capable of. 2001 alone, you could retire after that film as a director of photography. But he went on to just continue to astonish what was possible on the screen. Barry Lyndon came after a sort of a dream project of Kubrick's, which was a film about Napoleon, and I think, and which he worked on tremendously. And I think a release of a film that was related to Napoleon that failed encouraged financing to be pulled out of his Napoleon project. And so he fairly quickly pivoted to this story that Thackeray had published in a magazine, I believe, in his day, which was Barry Lyndon. There were the Life and Times of Barry Lyndon or something like that, and applied a lot of the research and preparation to the same 18th century setting, but developed this, again, a way of shooting that was absolutely specific to that film, and developed lenses that could photograph in candlelight, that had apertures that were that open, that could go that broad. And so that is one of the things that people speak to about Barry Lyndon, but it's only one part of what that visual experience is like.
And Pablo.
Samuel, I'm going outside for a breath of air.
Yes, lady, of course.
And it's a film that is so, it has this tableau presentational style that is inspired by the paintings from 18th century, 19th century landscape paintings. But there's something about it that is so strangely engrossing, almost because of the emptiness of the central character, and how kind of materialistic his drives are to succeed. And unlike films where Peter Sellers stars in certain memorable roles, and even the character of Malcolm McDowell in in Clockwork Orange, and certainly Jack Nicholson in The Shining. These powerhouse, extremely visceral, upfront performances. Barry Lyndon belongs to a different kind of film, more like 2001, where the actors are subservient to other aspects of the storytelling, in this case, the visual language and the music. And I don't think the film would work as well if it had a more powerhouse performance. That there's something banal about the character of Barry Lyndon that Ryan O'Neal beautifully accomplishes. And Marissa Berenson, who was a model and only recently entered filmmaking, is also part of this sort of removed glacial figure in the story, who you know for whom we feel tremendous sympathy in his lack of interest in her, and the sort of usury way that she's needed by Barry Lyndon to prop up his status. So the film is just such a curious, again, experimental in so many ways for a historic tableau film that usually needs a lot of action and flamboyant characters and a lot of broad performances. This one doesn't provide that, but it I think it casts a spell on the viewer, and it is the use of pure cinematic language in terms of music and visual language that is so spellbinding about it.